I finally wore a jacket.
Good morning. I'd like to call this organizational meeting of the Southampton Town Board to order on this fourth day of January, 2023. Please rise if you're able and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And let's remain standing and join together for a brief moment of silence as we keep in our thoughts and prayers all of the men and women of our armed services, and also remembering those we love and lost in recent times, particularly our beloved police chief, Chief Skrnicki, who passed away late last year. Let's take this moment to remember him as well. Please join with me in silence. Please be seated. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Certainly. Okay. Members of the Town Board, organizational meeting, Wednesday, January 4th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Please be advised that pursuant to Section 62 of Town Law, the 2023 organizational meeting of the Town of Southampton will be held both in person in the Town Board Meeting Room, Southampton Town Hall, 116, Hampton Road, Southampton, New York, and via video conferencing on Wednesday, January 4th, 2023 at 11 a.m. J. Schneiderman, Supervisor, Town of Southampton, dated December 27th, 2022. Supervisor Schneiderman.
Present.
Councilwoman McNamara.
Present.
Councilman Martell.
Present.
Councilman Bouvier.
Here.
Councilman Schimoni.
Present.
Okay, so let's get started. Let me first start by wishing everybody a happy new year. We've made it to 2023. We've been through a lot through the years. COVID certainly was a big challenge. It still continues to be on our minds with new variants, and it's something that it drew us together in many ways as a team to try to protect public health and safety. And learned a lot and led to lots of structural types of changes. But I just want to make sure that we continue to be mindful of our role in protecting public health and safety, but also in that COVID may not be a thing of the past. But I do want to wish everybody a joyous new year, happy 2023. This is my last organizational meeting as supervisor. This is my 8th year here, and because of term limits, it's my last year as town supervisor. But what I hope is a productive year. There's a lot on my mind in terms of things that I hope we can accomplish together. And I'm just going to hit a few things to start. And I know that you guys all have other things in addition to this list that are things that you'd like to accomplish. And I'm not going to take a lot of time, but let me start with a community preservation fund. That fund continues to generate tremendous amount of money for land preservation and other things. But we are looking to have a new program director, and we've been working very closely with Jacqueline Fenelon, who we have acting in the capacity as program manager. And as soon as we get the civil service nod to bring her in as director, we're hoping to do that. We did just add an attorney to the CPF program, Dan McCormick, and I think that's going to really help us in terms of negotiating land acquisitions and contracts and easements and things like that. One of the things on the CPF list has been preserving or trying to preserve historic buildings, and one of those buildings that has been on our minds recently is the home of John Steinbeck, famous American author. And I know, Tommy John, it's been something that's really important to you, and you have been a real leader on this. And We have movement there now, so we do have a agreed upon price to acquire the development rights on that property, working with the Sag Harbor Partnership. And I do have a resolution to set a public hearing, which all of you are co-sponsoring. And I'm very excited about the prospects of being able to save that home and not see it get torn down and another, Hampton's mansion built there, but having writers be able to go there and perfect their art, as well as the public be able to go there and learn about John Steinbeck, and also those who are interested in literature and writing, to be able to learn at that site. We have other park projects, including out along Agawam Park, working with the village to expand Lake Agawam Park. That could be quite significant if we're able to succeed there. We have a recreational park in Spionk that we're going to be putting some money. Rick, I know you've been working on this. Similar to our North Sea facility, we'll be able to do a number of ball fields and things out in Spionk, West Hampton area, on property that CPF acquired. At the Girl Scout camp in Hampton Bays, we're going to rebuild the lodge. Excited about that, and the staircase that goes down to the beach. We hope to get started on that this year. We're going to have a new park in Watermill. We've been calling it the Burden property, but we're not going to call it that. I don't believe when it's a park, maybe Mill Creek Park. But it's a waterfront park in the Hamlet Center, which will be really exciting, working with Chris LaGuardia Landscaping. We'll work together. We'll come up with a beautiful park design. That's exciting to me. John, I know you've been working on the Tupper Boathouse restoration and getting that finished and open to the public. It would be a great thing. And we have the life-saving station in Tiana, finishing the interior there, getting public use in that location. All the water quality grants will continue. I know, John, you worked on expanding the eligibility for grant money in terms of taking away the income restrictions. So hopefully more people will take advantage of that program, and we'll continue to convert more sanitary systems to those that remove nitrogen, so we can protect our bays and harbors and other water quality projects, lots of them. I know Janice Shearer is here. She's been working on a lot of these water quality projects and reviewing them. So Sag Harbor has come in, and Southampton Village, and there's a number of great projects. We have the new housing fund, which is significant. So the voters approved a new surcharge on housing transfers, 0.5%. Kara Back, who is our Director of Housing and Community Development, will be heading those efforts, and we're going to be looking at ways of applying that. One way of applying it is creating accessory dwellings, which is something I know Governor Hochul has been very interested in, creating accessory dwellings. We did just get word that we're getting $2 million in a grant for accessory dwelling units. Remember, we're partnering with CDC-LI, the Community Development Corporation. So we were successful in getting a $2 million grant. It allows us to spend over $100,000 per property on creating apartments, whether it's converting a garage or a basement or even adding an addition. But the homeowner does have to meet income eligibility. So that'll be an exciting program. We also had that Bridgehampton Senior Center project where we'll create 16 units there. So I want to be able to move that forward. And, other applications of that new housing fund to try to create some opportunities. And another thing under Kara's purview at the housing office will the community centers, the senior centers, and we got a new one. John, I know you've been very involved with trying to get West Hampton open. We have a capital project for, I believe, $2 million going into that building in West Hampton. And it's, well, a total, but there's an additional $2 million, right? So we're looking to open that hopefully toward the end of this year, right? If we're lucky.
The
So-
bids are going out, so we're getting close.
So and it's a youth center too, community center, senior nutrition program. So that's exciting in the West Hampton area, which is something that's been long sought. and finally happening. Our Parks Department is an enormous department. We own more land. We have more public parks than probably some states have. I mean, we've got incredible public park system in the town of Southampton, headed by Kristen Doulos, who does a phenomenal job there. And I know, Rick, you've been liaison to that department. We're working on the new indoor pool, which will, on McGee, which will be great. I know that they've made significant progress in terms of raising funds for that indoor pool. We're also doing some upgrades to Red Creek Park. It's another thing that Rick's been working on. We've got some money in place to expand our recreational facilities at Red Creek Park. We've got that bike path that goes sort of through Good Ground Park. I know, Janice, you were involved with that. That should be going out to bid and getting built relatively soon. Sidewalks in Noyak, Tommy John, I know that's something that you've worked on. The money is in place. Fred Thiel is assisting in terms of providing some additional money, Assemblyman Thiel. And also in the parks front, we're automating some of the parking, which is exciting. So we're going to do a test this year at Tiana. And the following year, we hope to roll it out across the town. The Hampton Bays Maritime Park will continue to do improvements there. And also, and John, this is something you've been working on, the Andrea Spilka Park out in Spionk. Hopefully that will open as well with the park improvements there. I see Janice Shearer is here from our land planning and development. If I say it right, town planning and development. This is one of my New Year's resolutions, is to get that one right. But Janice, you have so many different projects you're working with us on. It's overwhelming. Besides just the building department, which we've been trying to streamline the process, and we're fortunate. We have Sean McDermott there as Chief Building Inspector, who's doing a great job. But the Riverside Sewer District, and I guess it's sort of out there that we're getting a $5 million grant from the federal government. I know that's something that you worked on. Congratulations and thank you. That will go a long way toward building out the infrastructure in Riverside and allowing some of the development that was envisioned when the town board approved the RAP plan, the Riverside Action Plan. So more pieces to go. We've been acquiring land, but that's exciting. Hampton Bays, we've been doing a lot of work on revitalizing Hampton Bays. I know I've been spending a lot of time there, listening sessions, focus groups, and trying to bring together some of what I've learned, working with the town board and that community, and trying to get it right in terms of what the community wants for its future. We've got the survey going out into the Hampton Bays community. We're hoping to get thousands of responses. And hopefully that will lead to some zoning, because right now the zoning clearly is not going to give the community what it wants. It's going to give the community up island highway type of zoning, big box stores, and the very things in the heart of downtown that it doesn't want and will jeopardize the character of that community. And if we don't get it done relatively soon, we are certainly at risk of losing that sense of the downtown hamlet in Hampton Bays. So I'm hoping we are successful and we can sort of build that community consensus and get some zoning in place that will lead to the development that the community does seem to want. The Bel Air is another Hampton Bays project. We've been entertaining different proposals, working with our town attorney. We have to make some decisions there, but we have a lot of interest from private developers in the Bel Air property, so it shouldn't be a problem. We've got cannabis zoning to discuss with our planners and put some laws on the books now that New York State has legalized recreational marijuana. We've got the solar array up in the North Sea landfill. That is going to start getting built this year. The Bridgehampton Historic District is something that I'm still looking to finalize and put the regulations into place. Julie,
Certified local government.
we got the certified local government, so now we're working with Julie Green and Ed Woznovsky. Julie Green, our historian, Ed Woznovsky, the head of our landmarks board, to finalize that Bridgehampton Historic District. Highway, they've got their hands full. We've got lots of fuel station upgrades and barn upgrades, and we've been working with Charlie McCardle, the highway superintendent, on traffic improvements. So, and certainly storm response. So we'll continue, and Rick has been liaison to the highway department and working closely there. Engineering municipal works, by Tom Houghton's doing a tremendous job there. Finally, hopefully, that Greenfield Road community will have an exit through a capital project that we've been working on. That'll make things safer for them. And the South Fork Commuter Connection will continue. Tom Neely has been helping with that, but that provides an alternative way to get to work without putting more cars on the road. That's been very successful, and we appreciate Assemblyman Thiel for getting the money to fund that program and getting the Long Island Railroad to run those trains. We continue to build out electric charging stations. Moving on to our utility, the Hampton Bays Water District, we've got the crossing under the Shinnecock Canal that will get built. We've got lots of other infrastructure upgrades, meter replacements, all kinds of things. Rich McEwen, who's director over there, is doing a fine job with James Cappers, who's assisting him. The town attorney's office, I see Jim is here and Christine Scalera. That's a very busy office between all the contracts. FIMP is a big project this year, the Fire Island to Montauk Point project. And we've got a lot of easements to acquire, a lot of surveys. We've got a very busy year there working on FIMP. But we know, Jim, that you'll do a great job with that. We just named a new police chief, Chief Kiernan. We know he's already doing a great job. He was very active in the storm response recently. And, at some point we're going to have a new captain because he stepped up from captain. We'll figure out ways to remember Chief Skrinicki. We do have an expansion for the police department planned. We're going to be doing a significant $2 million expansion over there at headquarters. This is the year, hopefully, we're going to finally roll out the body cameras. Finally, we've been talking about it for a long time. It's something that various groups have asked for. The money is in place, and this should be the year where we implement the body camera program. I see Ryan is here from Public Safety. First, Ryan, thank you, Ryan Murphy, for the storm response. And helping coordinate it with Superintendent McCardle and with Chief Kiernan and others. We got hit with a lot of erosion and roughly $9 or $10 million worth of lost sand that we're making a claim for. A lot of flooding. So I know you have tremendous experience in that area, in addition to all your other duties in terms of code enforcement, special permits. But we do look forward to working with you and continuing to aggressively enforce our regulations. Dorothy is here from our controller's office. Go to Lusky, if I'm close. Dorota? Close. That's one of my other New Year's resolutions. Before I leave, I'll get your name right, too. And Janice's title right. Taking over from Len Marchese as controller and continuing the good work of that department, which is, has achieved the highest awards for public finance. And, it's a complicated town. It's a big budget. We do a lot of internal auditing, and it's really your department that gets the payroll out every 2 weeks and gets the budget done. And I'm looking forward working with you on what'll be my last budget that I put together, but closely on all the financial matters. We also, the assessor's office down the hall, Lisa Gorey, got some some things on our table in terms of the freeze. We've continued to freeze everybody's property values anyone who hasn't done work on their home to improve it. For 3 years now, we have frozen those in place, those values. They used to modulate with the market, and sometimes that caused problems for people in terms of areas going up faster than others in terms of value, and people on fixed incomes, it created some real hardships for. So that's something that we'll be discussing this year. Human Resources, Sandra Cericione, working with her on recruiting employees, retaining employees. Of course, always working with, it's always a pleasure to work with Sunday Schermeyer, our town clerk. We work extremely closely on these agendas, at these meetings, and
I have to say Kim Otati.
And
our
Kim, Deputy
She
Clerk
works
Kim
extraordinarily
Otati.
hard and we're very
thank
grateful.
you. And of course, our tax receiver, Teresa Kiernan, who's been very busy. This is a busy time of year for the tax receiver. And I see Paula here, who is our Director of IT, with John Capone as well. It's been an interesting year in terms of cybersecurity with the county's hack, and it's something that's on our minds very much. We watched basically Suffolk County get shut down, and it's affected everything, from real estate closings and title work to, I'll have to ask Dorothy whether we got the money that we were supposed to get at the end of last year for various things. I don't know, but there was a lot of money that got withheld that was creating some cash flow issues for us. So, but Paula, it's a great pleasure to work with you. You do a phenomenal job there, and that's something that's on our minds in terms of making sure that our data is protected, and that we don't see identity breaches, personal information leaked out, or anything that could compromise our financial positions, or confidential information. And of course, this is a big year for the trustees. The trustees are going to be moving into a new office in the Hampton Bays area. We're going to be finalizing the work that relates to the tax line, which will go into effect for next year. We're working on a massive memorandum of understanding. It's very detailed. Sean Cambridge has been working on that, and one of the town attorneys. But I think it's going to be a very important document, and hopefully we'll get it right. Another big change this year, we've got Juneteenth for the first time formally. We will honor as a holiday across the town. We'll be building the Windsor Heart Project right in front of Town Hall. This will be a platform that is in memory of Edith Windsor, who was a real fighter for marriage equality and brought the case against the United States that the Supreme Court, she won at the Supreme Court that legalized same-sex marriage. So on the 10th anniversary of that decision, we hope to do the unveiling of the Windsor Heart. It'll be a platform where people can get married. The clerk does quite a number of marriages in front of Town Hall. I do some when you're not there.
Yes,
But you
thank
do most of them. And of course, working with the town employees, we have just a tremendous workforce, and it's just a joy. And Claire Shea, who is the head of the bargaining unit CSEA, working with her, we've done some great things in terms of trying to improve workers' conditions and benefits. And Eric Breitweiser in the PBA. We have excellent relationships with those bargaining units and SOA as well. And working with all of our villages. We have, I think, 7 villages within the town, and different mayors and village boards. And we've been working with them on water quality projects and public safety projects. So we'll continue to do so. And of course, we're a town within a nation, but we have a nation within the town. We have the Shinnecock Nation, and the indigenous people of this region. They have a proud history that we celebrate, and I hope to work very closely with members of the Shinnecock Nation's leadership in working on things of mutual interest. And I think we've made some big progress when we did the Napa property, when we were able to help preserve a sacred burial area of the Shinnecock up in Shinnecock Hills. I think that was very meaningful, and continuing that work will be important, and as well as other things. So I know I said I wouldn't talk long, but I did. And I thank you for your patience, everyone. But it does show that we have a lot of work ahead of us this year, and that was just sort of scratching the surface. It may have seemed like a long list, but this is a productive board, and working with the department heads and the town employees, we get an awful lot done for the people of Southampton. And it's a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to serve as supervisor and work with you all in that capacity. And so let's make 2023 a good year. All right?
Well, I'd just like to really take an opportunity to thank you guys. This staff is unbelievable. I am so proud to work with so many of you. There's some of my favorites are sitting right here. But, none of this, it's easy to sit here and nod and say, yeah, we did great things, but we couldn't have done it without you. And without you, we would just be people sitting here nodding our heads most of the time. So I want to just thank you very, very much and look forward to another great year ahead. Thank you.
Awesome. So I just want to clarify one thing. John and I are co-liaisons on Parks and Rec. So
Oh, good.
thank you for the shout outs. I appreciate that. No. But also you're not going to go quietly because we have tons of work to do. The Community Housing Fund, the Park and Spionk. I want your first brick. I want you to put that first brick there. I am looking forward to the Edie Windsor Hart gazebo or whatever we're going to be making that in. So we definitely have a lot to do. I look forward to it. There'll be plenty of time later for teary goodbyes, but for right now, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done, and I really appreciate it. And it's been an honor to work with you and everybody else here.
Well, thank you, Rick, and congratulations to you on being named Man of the Year.
Thank Kitty. She out of all the rough stuff, she picked out that article. So
Sorry about the line.
That's great. I should also mention to my staff, I couldn't do what I do without the support that I get from Jackie O'Neill and Janice and Connie upstairs, and in particular Frank Zappone, who is deputy supervisor and will continue to be deputy. He just does a tremendous job, and you're only as good as the people around you, and I've got some really good people around me. So thank you, Janice, and see you. All right. Anyone else? All right, so we're going to start with public portion. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in public portion? All right, we continue to do these as hybrid meetings. And I mentioned earlier that COVID, there were some changes that grew out of COVID, and one of them was the hybrid meetings. Hi, Jim.
supervisor.
Speaking of hybrid.
And Charles Certain, who does a great job over there at CTV, who administers the CTV portion of these meetings and the web portion. Charles, is anybody who is looking to speak at public portion via their home computers?
There's no one on the line.
All right, excellent. The voice from beyond. All right, I'll make a motion to close public portion.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, that's the first vote of the year, and it's unanimous. Okay, so we're going to go to resolutions, and the first resolution, and most of these are boilerplate pro forma type of resolutions. So the first one, Resolution 1 of 2023, authorizes Highway Law Section 284 agreement for 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
On the motion with that, Supervisor, there is an actual agreement that we need to sign with that, so we'll be seeing that shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. I read 284.
Okay. So number 2 of 2023 is designation of banks of deposit.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Okay, resolution number 3 is approval of third-party custodial banks and irrevocable standby letter of credit agents.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Resolution 4 of 23, authorization to use signature stamp.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McNamara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Resolution number 5, authorize use of digital signature font overlay.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Resolution 6 of 23, authorization for highway superintendent to hire extra help.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 7, authorization for purchases and rentals by highway superintendent.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 8 of 23, set equipment non-prevailing wage rental rates for highway 2023.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 9 of 23, set equipment prevailing wage rental rates for highway for 2023.
Second?
The other one was just snow and sand removal.
Right.
This is everything else. Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 10 of 23, set salary schedule for 2023.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 11 of 23, appoints Zeb Youngman to the Conservation Board.
Second?
Seconded. So on this, I know sometimes we've been holding interviews. This individual has served in the past on the Conservation Board. I think everybody is familiar with Zeb. I hope so, and had a chance to review this. If anybody's uncomfortable, I don't have an issue tabling it. But Zeb has an environmental company. He's very, very educated and experienced in this area, and I think will once again make a great Conservation Board member. He has a family, lives in Hampton Bays, and he's meets all the criteria. But you guys,
good.
I've met with you guys. Are both good. Everybody's good. Okay.
I am
so,
good.
All right. So I made a motion. There was a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Okay. Number 12, 23 appoints the EMS Advisory Committee for 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Next one is 13 of 2023, appoints Fire Advisory Committee for 23.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 14, set Town Board work session schedule for 2023.
Second.
And this will be for every Thursday, but at 10:30. 10:30, not 10 o'clock. So we're going to push it back because of traffic and trying to make it a little bit easier for those who are commuting from further west. I think that half an hour may make a difference, so we'll start at 10:30 rather than 10, but we will do it every week. So we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. 15 of 23 sets 2023 meeting dates for the commissioners of the Hampton Bays Water District.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Number 16 of 23, approval for official undertakings.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. 17, approval for official undertakings for tax receivers.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. 18 of 23, authorize the highway superintendent to clear private roads during an emergency.
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Martell. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Approved. Number 19 of 23, designation of official newspaper, which is the Southampton Press.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Scavone. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved. Number 20 of 23 is the designation of additional newspapers.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McNamara. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Number 21, of '23, police officers continuation of service,
Second,
seconded by Councilwoman
on
McNamara.
the motion,
On the motion, yes.
James Kavanaugh retired?
He did.
He's on it.
On the list here,
Yes.
Yes?
or James Kavanaugh, there may be two James Kavanaughs. There are two James Kavanaughs, actually. I think, or there is certainly another Kavanaugh in the department. But I don't know if they're beyond 20 years. So this probably is the one who retired. I would say leave it alone.
Right.
And,
If you needed it, fine. If not, it's of no effect.
there's no consequence.
Right,
And if
if you
there
retire,
is a,
okay.
yeah, so, we can always come back to it, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna call the vote. If we have to come back to it before the end, we're gonna hit the end pretty soon,
Yeah,
though.
it's the next to last.
Well,
No, just pass over.
if he was left on, it's moot, right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, we might have an answer.
If he retires.
There's two.
Ah, there you go.
There are two, okay, so it's the other James Kavanaugh. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved. We had a second on that, correct?
James
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
There's probably a few in the New York area.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Both with two over 20 years.
So number, we're up to,
22.
22.
up to the
Right,
last
Ryan
one.
Murphy.
No.
No?
There's a walk.
Oh, this is the whole page. I mean, here we are.
There's a walk.
Yep, it is the last one.
This is the last one.
This is the last one? I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be a walk-on,
Yeah, I
but
did
it's
too.
in the
Heard we
agenda.
having a walk.
No, this last one was going to be a walk-on, but I was actually able to meet the
Oh, okay.
schedule to get it actually part of the agenda. So this is
There it
number
is.
22 of 2023. This is a notice of public hearing to consider the acquisition of development rights at 2 Bluff Point Lane, which is the Steinbeck property, in Sag Harbor, and to amend the CPF project plan and CPF management and stewardship plan to include the property. And this is co-sponsored by the entire board. So do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone.
It's at
And-
1 PM on the
Can we
24th.
put
It-
Steinbeck House in the title somewhere so that people know what they're coming to speak about? A lot
Yeah,
of people won't know what Two Bluff Point Road is.
yeah, I think that's wise. So, I guess,
Parentheses.
do I have to do a
Right
quick
after the
amendment?
address.
All right, so let me make a motion then to amend it. So in the title, maybe in quotes,
Right,
after
right after the
2
address,
Bluff Point
maybe.
Road, after the word Sag Harbor? Or after 2 Bluff Point Road? Probably after 2 Bluff Point
Yeah.
Road.
that's what I said.
Bluff Point Lane.
Put Stain-
I'm sorry, Bluff Point Lane.
Steinbeck
We will
property or something.
put in quotes, John Steinbeck home.
Sure, I think that's fine.
AKA.
I just want people to know what they're,
Mm-hmm.
We're putting it in
maybe
front of the address,
parentheses.
correct?
yeah.
Should we say the Giant Steinbeck home or just Giant Steinbeck home?
I think right after the address.
I like the.
The.
Those, yeah.
All right.
After Sag Harbor or before the address?
All right, so I'm withdrawing my motion
Right
to
before Sag
approve,
Harbor.
and now I'm making a motion to, a motion to amend to after the 2
address.
Bluff Point Lane,
Ah.
we put in quotations, the John Steinbeck home, end quotations. Is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Sag Harbor, we don't have to say New York, just Sag Harbor. Okay, so I'll make that motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Councilman Schiavone, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Okay, and now I'll make a motion to approve as amended,
Same second?
seconded by Councilman Schiavone. And this will set the hearing for January 24th, 1 PM here, but also hybrid. So if it's challenging for people to get here, they can certainly weigh in through Zoom and appear here at Town Hall. So, any discussion? I'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved unanimously. All right, so that gets us to the end of the agenda. Again, I look forward to working with everybody this year. And is there any other business? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Bouvier. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.